Stop doing what the survival industry tells you. Do what actually works instead. Picture this. It's the winter of 1944, and the Allied advance has slammed into a frozen hellscape called the Hürtgen Forest. Here, men did not survive with the latest gadgets or store-bought conveniences. They endured through grit, community, and the will to adapt, often with little more than what their predecessors had used. In that crucible, survival was not determined by the contents of a rucksack, but by the content of one's mind. Fast forward to today. The survival industry bombards us with shiny, disposable gear, promising that the next best tool will be the difference between life and death. Yet, behind every clever advertisement is a subtle push: buy, use, replace. True resilience is rarely sold on shelves. It is cultivated through knowledge and the deliberate choice of tools that endure. The business of survival gear depends not on what lasts, but on what needs replacing. In this video, I will reveal 3 remarkable technologies the industry quietly sidesteps, tools that last so long they simply cannot be sold twice. These are not the gadgets you see on flashy banners, but the bedrock of generational preparedness. If you value lasting security, this is for you. So like, comment, share and subscribe to Warcraft Survival to stay ahead of the next storm. Now, let us get into the real work. In the annals of electrical history, one humble invention stands as a testament to endurance: the nickel-iron battery. Developed in the early 20th century by Thomas Edison, this battery was never the darling of the consumer market. It is large, weighty, and, by modern standards, inefficient. But beneath its cumbersome exterior lies a secret that has quietly defied the march of progress: an ability to withstand decades of neglect, abuse and use. Imagine a battery that shrugs off deep discharge, that can sit unused for years only to spring back to life. The nickel-iron battery is so robust that some original models are still functioning a century later. For those accustomed to replacing lithium-ion packs every few years, this seems almost mythical. The cost? A willingness to accept bulk, weight, and a slower charge. Convenience, after all, is the price we pay for disposability. Why then does the nickel-iron battery languish in obscurity? The answer is not a grand conspiracy, but rather the simple economics of inconvenience. It is heavy. It is large. In our world of sleek smartphones and featherweight batteries, such traits are anathema. But for the prepared individual thinking in decades, not seasons, the nickel-iron battery is a quiet revolution. Consider a homestead far from the grid, where replacement parts are weeks or months away. Here the nickel-iron battery shines. It tolerates freezing, overcharging, and even dirty water. Where others fail, it endures. The simplicity of its construction means it can be maintained and even rebuilt by hand using basic tools and materials. The energy density is modest, and it is not the battery for your pocket flashlight. But for stationary applications, solar backup, off-grid cabins, emergency lighting, it is peerless. The nickel-iron battery does not promise perfection. Instead, it promises persistence, a slow, steady heartbeat of stored energy across generations. In the world of planned obsolescence, such longevity is almost a threat. There are few repeat customers for a battery that endures for decades. Manufacturers, quite understandably, chase the market that buys again and again. But for those wise enough to look past the marketing, the nickel-ion battery offers a rare kind of security. It forces us to confront our priorities. Will we settle for convenience or invest in endurance? True preparedness is as much about mindset as it is about hardware. The nickel-ion battery is not for everyone, but for those who choose it, there is a quiet confidence in knowing your power source will outlast the trends, the seasons, perhaps even yourself. This is generational thinking, and it is rare in our disposable age. It asks you to weigh the long view, the needs of your children and grandchildren, against the lure of the latest gadget. It is not glamorous, but it is honest. Let us not forget, survival is measured not in hours or days, but in years, sometimes in lifetimes. The nickel-ion battery is a tool for those who understand this truth, who prepare not just for the next outage, but for the next generation. As we move forward, remember the lesson here. Longevity often comes at the cost of convenience. But for those willing to bear that cost, the rewards are profound. Before we leave this chapter, reflect. How many tools in your kit are built to last a lifetime? How many could you hand down as a legacy rather than as waste? Let us now turn to a technology that insulates not just against time, but against the cold abyss itself. Imagine for a moment the cold. Not the chill of autumn or even the biting wind of January, but the relentless, bone-deep freeze that saps strength and hope alike. Throughout history, humans have fought this enemy with fur, with wool, with whatever nature provided. But today we possess a material so strange, so effective, that it seems to defy the very laws of physics. Aerogel. Aerogel is not a new creation. Its origins stretch back to the 1930s, though it remained a laboratory curiosity for decades. Composed almost entirely of air, over 95% in fact, it is the lightest solid known. Its structure is a chaotic tangle of silica forming a lattice so fine that heat struggles to pass through. Hold a piece of aerogel, and you will notice its uncanny lightness, almost as if it were a fragment of cloud. Yet place it between a flame and your hand, and you will find the heat cannot cross. Its insulating power is unmatched. Where down and foam falter, packing bulk and weight, aerogel stands firm, blocking heat transfer with a whisper of substance. But perfection is elusive. Aerogel is fragile, prone to crumbling under stress. It is also costly to produce. You will not find it lining the jackets of mountaineers or soldiers, not yet. Its best use is not in the field, but as a shield for stationary or semi-permanent survival. The lining of a shelter, the insulation of a cache, the barrier that keeps warmth in and cold out for years on end. Consider the energy economics of survival. Every calorie you burn, every log you split, is precious. Insulation is not merely comfort, it is survival. Traditional materials require thickness, volume, and regular replacement. Aerogel, by contrast, endures. It does not rot, it does not mould, and it shrugs off the passage of time like few materials can. It is not the solution for every problem. Its fragility and price exclude it from mass adoption. But for those who plan in decades, not seasons, it is a marvel. Imagine a cache protected from the cold, or a root cellar made frost-proof. Imagine a refuge where the warmth of one's breath lingers, not for hours, but for days. The survival industry rarely speaks of aerogel for one simple reason. It does not wear out. It does not beg for replacement. It sits quietly, enduring, while the world outside changes. To appreciate aerogel is to understand the difference between transient comfort and enduring security. It is the hallmark of those who think not just of their own survival, but of the legacy they leave behind. It is easy to be seduced by the latest Parker, the next synthetic fill. But if you look deeper, if you think in decades, you will see the wisdom of investing in technologies that promise not novelty, but permanence. Aerogel is the fortress wall, the invisible barrier, the silent protector. For stationary shelters, for caches that must remain untouched for years, it is without equal. In the cold equation of survival, it tips the balance toward life. As you consider your own preparations, ask yourself, are you building for today or for all the tomorrows yet to come? Aerogel is a reminder that the best solutions are often those that last the longest, even if they are not the easiest to obtain. Let us now turn from the insulation that shields us to the web that connects us, without wires, towers, or corporate oversight. Deep in the heart of disaster, when cell towers fall silent and the grid flickers out, what remains? For most, the answer is isolation. Yet there exists a technology that weaves a resilient tapestry of connection, even when the world as we know it falters. LoRa and the Meshtastic Mesh Network. LoRa, short for long range, is a radio protocol designed not for speed, but for endurance. With minuscule power, it can send messages over hills, through forests, and across open fields. Unlike cell phones, it does not rely on distant towers or monthly fees. Instead, each device becomes a link in a chain, passing messages from neighbour to neighbour, building a network that grows stronger with each participant. Meshtastic is the open-source heart that animates LoRa devices, enabling ordinary people to create resilient, decentralized webs of communication. In a blackout, when the infrastructure we take for granted vanishes, these networks persist. They are slow. Text messages, location pings, but they are unbreakable unless every device is silenced. The value here is not in the gadget, but in the community it fosters. Survival is rarely a solitary affair. It is the result of coordinated effort, of shared information. A mesh network is an invitation. Join, contribute, and remain connected no matter what comes. Unlike commercial radios or cell phones, there is no gatekeeper. No corporation can turn off your service or demand a subscription. The network is yours, built by your hands, maintained by your group. It is true decentralization, a return to the roots of communication. Such technology does not make headlines. It is not flashy, nor is it sold with celebrity endorsements. It thrives in quiet corners among those who understand that preparedness is not about being alone, but about staying together when the world fragments. Building a mesh network is an act of community. It is the opposite of the lone wolf fantasy. It asks us to trust, to collaborate, to invest in a shared future. This is not the message sold by most survival brands, whose business model depends on individual consumption, not collective resilience. LoRa and Meshtastic are not without challenges. You must learn, experiment and coordinate. There is no customer service hotline, only the wisdom of those who have gone before. But the reward is profound. Communication that endures even as systems fall. Imagine a natural disaster, roads blocked, phones silent, radios jammed. Yet the mesh network persists, passing messages, coordinating response, offering hope. This is not science fiction. It is the reality quietly being built by pioneers across the world. The industry rarely promotes such solutions. There is little profit in tools you buy once, maintain yourself, and share freely. Yet, for those who value true preparedness, the mesh network is a lifeline. It is not about the hardware, but the commitment to a way of life. To build, to maintain, to teach others. This is the essence of survival, the antidote to planned obsolescence. As you consider your own preparations, ask, are you building a fortress or a village? The mesh network is the foundation of the latter, a web that holds in times of stress. Let us celebrate not just the tools, but the mindset they require. Patience, cooperation and vision that extends far beyond the next product cycle. Now, as we draw these threads together, let us reflect on the deeper pattern that unites them. Across all three of these technologies, nickel-ion batteries, aerogel insulation and mesh network communications, a single pattern emerges. Each one stands in quiet defiance of convenience and planned obsolescence. They are not the easiest to adopt, nor the most fashionable, but they endure. They prioritize longevity, consistency and decentralization, offering a resilience that transcends fleeting trends. If there is one lesson to take from this, it is to think in decades, not seasons. True preparedness is not about responding to the latest marketing campaign, but about investing in systems that will serve you, your family and your community for years, perhaps even generations. The future belongs to those who build with patience, forethought, and an eye toward the enduring. So, if you found value in these ideas, subscribe to Warcraft Survival, hit the notification bell, and share this wisdom with those who think as you do. Leave a comment with your experiences in long-term preparedness. What has stood the test of time in your world? Stay sharp, stay thoughtful, and we will see you in the next one. Before you head off to start your own journey towards resilient living, why not join a community that shares your passion for preparedness? Click that subscribe button now. Watch as it lights up on your screen. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of insight or inspiration. Share this video with friends and family who value durability over disposability. Together we can build a future that lasts. Thanks for watching. Your next adventure in resilience starts right here.